Hey everybody, and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, and today we're combining the two most similar things on the internet, Hearts of Iron and SCP. I don't know, but everybody who plays Hearts of Iron also has played SCP, it's kind of a thing. And believe it or not, this is the third SCP mod I've played for Hearts of Iron 4. I don't know why there's so many, people just keep making them. One I didn't even realize was an SCP mod, that's how crazy it was. This one is obviously an SCP mod though, so I'm not going to figure out that it's an SCP mod halfway through. So we'll be playing as the SCP Foundations. Very fun. I like how they're just in the middle of the US as their own thing. They might be a puppet, I don't know. Also, I don't think this is a demo. Maybe it is a demo, but I think the developers were brave enough to release a mod and not call it a demo. It might be a demo though. And they have a decent focus tree. I believe it at least has 100 focuses, so that's good. Much better than most random mods that release. We're led by the O5 Council, and under the leadership of the O5, multiple SCPs have been captured and studied. Now this is great. I love Hoi4 SCP mods. Maybe normal SCP mods are probably fun too, but I don't really play SCP because I'm scared of horror games, so I can only play SCP in map games. I guess I did make one SCP video though. I don't know if it's still up on the channel, but there is an SCP video. I didn't get scared though, I don't think. So that was good. They've given us a lot of technology, guys, so I feel like we're going to be okay. I guess we can just put all of our research into tanks. We're so far ahead. I feel like we're going to be overpowered. Starting with 1939, advanced machine tools is kind of crazy. Yeah, this is some weird starting research for me, but we just have to play with the cards we're dealt, right? Also, we start off with a big enough army to easily defeat the US army, or maybe they've given the US more divisions to compensate for how powerful we are. That's fair. They probably did some testing and realized that it was way too easy to beat the US, so they gave the US a bunch of new starting divisions. I would bet that's what happened. I don't really know anything about SCP lore. I'm kind of confused why the SCP Foundations though is like using SCPs. I thought they would be trying to contain the SCPs, but I guess that wouldn't be very fun. I guess we gotta use the SCPs to secure the SCPs. Yeah, it's all part of the master plan. We have to use the SCPs to take over the world so then we can contain all the SCPs throughout the world. Of course, our capital is Site 19, the largest containment facility. We do, I noticed, start off with more military factories than the US, and we don't have the Great Depression, so we probably have more usable civilian factories, so I'm not too worried about beating the US. I will have a stroke if beating the United States in our eventual fight is difficult. I guess I should look when we attack the United States. Raid the United States. I guess that is pretty far down in the focus tree. Yeah, that might take so long that the US can actually get powerful by then. And we're democratic as that good guys SCP Foundations, so I don't know. We're questionably democratic. So I'm just going to continue the current rule. We could have gone with like the plague doctor path and cured the world. I guess maybe we can save that for another day. But this path seems the most developed of them, so we will play the middle path and go and get help from a lot of SCPs. This is the SCP reference focus tree, or where the focuses reference an SCP and we get a buff. They also added a lot of agency icons, which is a nice touch. Mods rarely add any of these. Oh, we also have our sorcerer microcomputer in 1936. Yeah, we'll get another agent slot because all of the other advisors we have right now are terrible, so might as well spend our political power on that. Now we have to wait 70 days to decrease fascism support by 2.5%, and then the same amount of time to do that for communist support. At least we get some negligible amounts of stability and war support, but we'll get to some better focuses later. Oh, though I noticed we start off with all that advanced research, but we don't have trains, so we will need to research trains to get supply. Common oversight. Trains. And the Dominions broke with the crown. That's very good because that'll make conquering Canada much easier. I'm just gonna assume that I was lucky, but they might have changed it so that the UK always does that path just to make Canada easier to annex. Okay, we found some people we need to deal with because I don't know, but we're giving the guy who found them some potato chips, so that's kind of wholesome. I like giving people potato chips as rewards for working for me. I see that SCP Foundations has a great employment policy. I guess I'll make a tank. We have so many military factories. We might as well make some decent tanks to attack the US with. If we use tanks and planes though, we need to produce our own oil, since until we take out the US, we won't have any of our own. So I'll build a lot of synthetic refineries and some fuel silos. And we've already done a bit of the research for that. Okay, we've now dealt with the chaos insurgency. I don't think this matters too much, but we're just gonna say the raid was successful on them, so no chaos insurgency. Either way, we go to war with the US, so that's fine. We'll finally start doing some decent focuses to get some factories, and then we'll abandon neutrality and attack the US. Or we can just do nothing and just buy stuff and then do nothing. I don't even know what that means. I guess we can join the Allies as the SCP Foundations to take care of any SCPs they find in Germany. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to attack the US. Our army is twice as big as theirs, and we can cut them off like so. I think this will be easy. I'm not gonna micro. I guess I'll just make my tanks go on a battle plan to drive to Washington, D.C. I promise we're the good guys, though. We're just doing this for their own benefit. They can't deal with the SCPs themselves. This is kind of interesting, though, because whenever we do this focus, every state we own becomes a core, but we can only do the focus once. We might want to attack Great Britain first. Great Britain's gonna join Germany soon, so that's kind of scary, but I don't think we can prevent that. They're kind of far away from us. They're not doing so well. They're already about to capitulate. We probably won't even have to take anything in California, which is always convenient. I hate having to march all the way to California. We'll take the Huey Long City and then we should be good. Okay, and the US is done. We'll take all their states. I will puppet them though, just so we can get their navy. Actually, because we're democratic, I don't think we can do the puppet thing where we steal their navy. So, I guess we can hope and pray that they use their navy to give us supremacy. There's no shot that we occupy all this forever, so I'm just gonna have to do the focus now to get the cores and form the SCP Federative Republic. So now we have all the core states, and we can repair the US now. All the factories were broken by resistance and the fight to contain their SCPs. We also gained a massive research bonus for nuclear technology. I guess that's a very easy way to deal with SCPs after all. Oh wow, this is a miracle. They'll actually let us join. I guess we are democratic. They'll let the tension thing slide for now. I guess we could go into Poland? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We can put an entire army of our SCPs in Poland and Czechoslovakia. Oh, and we can take over the faction. I'll take over the faction. Why not? It's my faction now. The SCP faction. Going to total mob. What a day. Can we do women in the workforce for the SCP Federation? Yes. Oh, I just noticed we have Ireland. Ah, yes. I forgot that Great Britain declares a war on them. That's where we need to be putting all of our divisions, because all we really need to do in this game to finish the focus tree is to take out Britain. So if we can take them out, I'm completely fine not caring about Germany and Poland. I don't really know what Hoi4 has become. This isn't the most weird thing I've done, but this is just bizarre. I don't think we're gonna get naval supremacy. The US at least put some of their navy here, so they're kind of helping us, but I don't think the AI is good enough to actually give us naval supremacy. So we're just going to build a ton of dockyards and build our own navy. Italy joined Finland's faction. I also believe the UK is gonna declare war on Italy, so maybe that'll sink their navy. Poland keeps falling to naval invasions. I think the UK is probably going to naval invade us soon. They keep trying to naval invade the US. We took the port here though, so now these divisions are encircled. That means less divisions defending Britain, which is always a good thing. We're slowly building up our navy. We have 108 dockyards, so this shouldn't won't take much longer. I'm just going to start making some cruisers. Some very, very good light cruisers. The Soviets are invading Poland. I've done a lot to protect this front, but I'm just gonna get out of here. I only wanted the UK. I don't know what I'm doing in Europe. I forgot about these government in exile mechanics. So we're going to steal navies of people who've capitulated. I guess this navy, it's better than our current navy, so I'll take it, but it's not amazing. Maybe we'll be able to get naval supremacy with it. And we finally did it with our... How many dockyards do we even have now? 113 dockyards. We got naval supremacy by building a massive fleet of 1940s light cruisers. And here we go. Now we will take out Britain easily. I'm sure they are way overextended in Africa right now, so this shouldn't be a problem. Oh no, but Japan's navy is here helping the UK's navy. This is so weird. I didn't expect to be fighting Japan, if anything. Our navy is going to get destroyed. We got naval supremacy for just long enough. Disengage, please disengage. But we built all the ships in the past like 3 months, so we're not losing like a ton of progress or anything. I don't know why Japan is here though. Oh no, the US capitulated. So now we have the US government in exile. No, well, we'll have Britain soon though, so nothing else really matters that much. And there, we've recovered our last sites. And we have a decent foothold in Poland, but I'm done. That's the end of the focus tree. I actually finished the focus tree a long time ago. I just needed to recover site 17, which, wait, is that in like, I can't even tell what that is. That might be up here, which we don't control, but that's the end for now. That was enough SCP mod. It was very loosely related to SCP. It was more of an SCP themed focus tree kind of. Anyways, let me know if you want me to play more SCP mods. Maybe we can do one of the other paths, but bye.